Welcome to Wisdom Keys with myself, Brother Francis. This is an opportunity to be here every Thursday with each and every one of you, and it's also a great opportunity to just be alive. Today's date is February the 17th, 2022, and our time is approximately a little after 1:10. It's actually 1:13 p.m. Had a little technical issue, and that's why I'm on here now. I am Brother Francis. I've been a spiritual counselor for about over 47 plus years, and I enjoy helping people have greater clarity in their life so that they can discover their purpose in life. And our purpose changes, It's not always the same. It doesn't always last forever. Sometimes your purpose changes based on your direction that you're headed in life. But there is an overall major purpose that we do have. Today's topic was kind of interesting. It came to me to be said, are you blazing light or the shadow? As in the shadow self. Are you blazing light, radiant light, or are you like a shadow? The reason why I chose that, because I've gone through these experiences, and I know that many of my metaphysical spiritual colleagues have gone through these times in our life, these mazes, where one moment we could shine the light bright out into the world, and another moment we find ourselves not being able to do that. And so we kind of think that everything can be difficult. And it's true, everything can be difficult at times. So we might shy away from an opportunity to show our light to the world. In other words, show your truth, show who you are to the world. And this isn't easy for anybody. It's not easy for anybody to just come right out and say, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is what I would like to be right now. I'm not hiding any part of myself. And my folks, meaning my immediate ancestors, used to always say, you have to make a decision. You're either going to stay behind doors, or you're going to hide behind a rock, so to speak, a boulder, or are you going to allow the world to see who you are? And this is not an easy task, okay? Most of us are shy people. Most of us are introverts. Not all of us are extroverts. I grew up being an introvert. A lot of it, as I realize now, I didn't know who I was. Even up through high school, I wouldn't really be talking all that much. The only time I really started to talk is when something that I enjoyed, like doing artwork, like paintings and drawings. Now, then I would talk until I would talk your ears off, okay? But I was always quite shy. And so many of us find ourselves being shy like this and not knowing how to just come out and be who we truly are. But if you don't know who you truly are, who you can be, if you're not relaxed with that part of yourself, then it's hard to express, it's hard to show your light, it's hard to radiate and be that blazing light that you can be. Well, I'm going to talk a little bit about how you can bring that blazing self out, and how there are different sides of our shadow self that we have to contend with, and that how it's not bad to have a shadow side, really. It just means you have to know when you're in that field, when you're in that energy. Another side of the word shadow is covert, hidden. Okay, so there are hidden sides. Yeah, internally, there's parts of us on the inside that no one ever gets a chance to see in the world. But you have to eventually show it, or it's going to show up. So you always want to be aware that you could be hiding in the world. And some people may do an occupation that's totally different than who they are. I remembered when people asked me, this is when I lived back on Long Island, okay? This is way back in the 80s or so, 74 all the way out, 71, actually 74 when I got out of college, June of 74. So 74 on, living in bits of New Jersey for a little bit, 10 months, and then coming out and coming back to Long Island and working and being able to work at various events by way of other people, doing readings, whether it was tarot readings, whether it was doing the numerology, because I was doing it way back then, long before I met my friend Lloyd Strayhorn. But getting that opportunity to kind of go out and be about and being with other people who were in their metaphysical, spiritual, occult circles, you name it. And I was always the one that was quiet. I was always the one that didn't realize I had something to offer. I didn't know that I could offer, show my gifts or talents that I had and whatever skills that I had put together. Sometimes I wound up talking about my art because that's what I could talk about. And I knew in that circle, those different circles, that no one else was into art, like I was into art back then. So I had something to lean on, we might say. And that helped me out. Some people are comedians, natural comedians. They could tell a joke and have everybody, slapping their knee, their thigh, they're laughing so hard that their face aches, or feel like they crack a rib, as we would say. So we often have to discover where and what our gifts might be, or talents or skills, or just say interests, and how you want to bring those interests out. And are you just going to wing it? I came from the old school of learning where often you had to show the elders or the people that knew their stuff if you're really serious about demonstrating what skill that you had, let's say in the spiritual realm or mantic realm. So it took time to show that skill. And just because you could show it off doesn't mean that they were going to go like, okay, we're going to let you work with that group, or go over to Brooklyn, or head to Queens, or go up into the Bronx, or stay on Nassau County where I lived on Long Island, or going, further east in Suffolk. They had some circles to put you in and then let you work. And most of the time, it was what they call teas. And teas were being at someone's house, and in the old day, like drink a cup of tea and then share your gift, do some readings. Or people pay for tea, and they would have people spread out in somebody's house, and each person was reading somebody. Those were the old days. And then in New York City, they had places that were called tea rooms. And I thought they were different. I thought they were actually just in there drinking tea. But then my late mother would say, oh, no, I'm going to take you in there. And no, they weren't just drinking tea. There were people in there reading tea leaves, coffee grounds, reading playing cards, tarot cards, straight out psychic readings, you name it. But that's how, back in the day that I had to contend with it, It didn't have really formal training. So it was like nowadays you get a cell phone, it's pay as you go. So in that field for me, it was pay as I go. Show something and hopefully come across a teacher or someone else that could guide me other than my late mother, who was alive at that time. And she did the best that she could, because one thing she had was ethics. She never accepted anybody's money if she felt it was creepy. If she felt, as she called, blood money, she wouldn't accept. So today's title is, are you blazing light? As if to say, are you like releasing your light, your truth, so people can see it in the world? Are you doing something to that effect? Well, again, it's not easy. Now, if you have circles and centers and schools and stuff to be, then it's a little easier because then you know you have mutual friends. Like I'm affiliated with Resonant Essentials, owned by Michelle Vidal, located over there at 3107 Eubank Boulevard Northeast. And I'll be more technical on the northwest corner of Eubank and Candelaria. Eubank running north and south, Candelaria east and west, inside of the Scottsdale Shopping Plaza. So we often, have these opportunities. I teach meditation there every Saturday, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. And Michelle has a lot of classes that she teaches, and she has various people in there teaching classes. So when you have a place like that means you have a place to go, right? A place where you can be associated with as long as you're doing the work. And that's necessary. That's why the subtitle of this is, Or Are You the Shadow? Meaning your shadow self. Sometimes I call it the lower self. So which side of you is actually operating in the world? But I don't want to lay on the word shadow as if to be very negative. So my original title when I set this up, subtitle was, Or Are You Dim or Dark? Meaning, are you afraid to show your light to the world? And sometimes many of us have that where we're afraid to show our light to the world. And it's okay being afraid to do it. You just have to learn how to do it. Yeah, hey Harold, how are you doing? Thanks for joining me. Yeah, so how do you show the light to the world? The light that you have? Well, my late mother Grace was very much into ethics. While everybody was waiting for me to blossom into this path, and she never had a chance to see me blossom into the path. She's just watching me from the other side blossom. And she got a little taste of it, but she didn't get a chance to really see it. But I know she's watching me do this from the other side because, we are spiritual beings inside, metaphysical and spiritual minded people inside of a human form. So when we leave this world, we transition into the veil. We're still alive. We're not deceased like people may think. So here are some steps, some things you can consider to show your light, to blaze it, as we say, which means to show it. One of the things is, she's talked about ethics. So you got to have ethics and morals. That's for sure. That's like number one. Ethics and morals. What would be another side of that? Integrity. Right? Truth. You got to be truthful in this world. You can't pretend to be. There are a lot of charlatans in this world. And I've met a lot of them here and since I've been here in Albuquerque. I've run into a lot of people who are charlatans in this field. And because they're still around, sometimes I used to think like back in New York, they make it very hard for a kind-hearted person like myself to show my light more often. Now, I've had people plagiarize my books. But rather than get mad because they're plagiarizing the book, one of my friends from Harlem, and this is not Mr. Strayhorn, but this is someone else, said, if they're plagiarizing your book, that means you got something to say. If they're stealing the words, the very words that you have, the very projects that you've created, the methods, the way you do white light meditation, that means you've got something with you. So I'm learning, and this is part of showing your light, blazing the light. I'm learning that I don't have to be mad at somebody plagiarizing my work. Because I made a decision last year, and I've been in this field, I said 47 plus, actually 48 come July. Been in this field 48 years. So I've decided, and this is what I decided to do. I'm going to continue to write my books. I'm going to continue to teach my classes, and I'm going to stay visible. Right now I got like, 4 courses put together based on 4 out of the 5 books. But I have to be visible. We have to show the light, show the truth about yourself. When you're acting like your shadow self or your light is dim or dark, that means you're hiding. You're not willing to show who you are. And the way the world is now, no matter how bad or how negative it appears in the physical world, and when we see it in the outside world, there's some part of it that might be supporting that. There's some people who come into the planet with a contract, soul contract with us on some level where they're going to be acting out. They're going to show negativity. They're going to be cursing and carrying on and call you all kind of names and things. That's their contract part. And maybe they're only supposed to do a little bit of that, but they get caught up by way of, as Akhenaten said to me, the spirit of Akhenaten, and Nefertiti told me, the miscreated ego. We have an ego, but it's been miscreated by us. Because the ego is really to help you pop your head up out of the sand, look around, and make sure you're not doing something negative. But sometimes you could fall into that pattern. We all have, and I'm going to put my hand up first. We all have. I have. Throughout my 48 some odd years, I stuck my head up the wrong way out of the sand and acted out, went to the left rather than go to the right. But when I say left, I'm not talking about the true left path, which is the analytical side, studying the sciences and applications and things, and the right side is just intuitively go with the flow. I'm talking about from the level of not doing the right, always doing the right thing. So when we're in this field, it takes a lot of courage to step into such a field like this and be willing to be vulnerable. And what is that? Where you can be seen. Another word is to be transparent. Can you walk around in life and be transparent? So we can't assume that anybody knows what we're talking about. We can't assume anybody knows what you're truly about until they're in the moment with you. So sometimes we have to uncover these layers that we have. We all got tons of layers. And in those layers, in between those layers, we're hiding. There's something that we've stuffed down. Now we can go back all the way to our childhood or younger years as a younger adult or teenager, where we may have tried to show what we thought was our light and it got stuffed. It got snuffed out like a candle. And maybe that happens so many times that you think, I don't have the energy. I'm literally burnt out. I don't know what to say or how to do something. I don't know who to go to or who to ask. Well, the ego now can get in the way, because the ego part of you will be like, well, I don't need any help. But there are times where it's not the ego. It's just that there's a part of you you're just not feeling like you should, or you feel somewhat confused, or you feel somewhat angry. So sometimes, it's better to just zip it. But if you're dealing in situations where you're dealing with other people underneath your roof, you just can't be quiet all the time. Sometimes you do have to express yourself no matter what. That's how you learn how to blaze the light, just like exercising. You learn how to tone the body up by constantly exercising. You may not lose weight right away, drop any pounds or lose any fat or lose any inches, because it takes a long time, because you have other habits embedded in your layers of activity where you might be eating sweets, or you might be eating something fatty, or there might be days where you're not getting the proper rest, or it might be days where you're not drinking water. All those things add in. Then there's stress. Stress and anxiety on top of that is the biggest weights that you have. when you're on that path. Stress and anxiety. So you got to work your stress out of your system. You got to find out what you're anxious about. You got to find out what you're angry about. You got to get to the core. They say keep a tight core. Well, you got to get to the core where you ain't going to keep it tight. Because you keep it tight, you're keeping it stuff locked in. You got to get into the core of your being and see why you think or feel or act or react a certain way. Maybe someone from your childhood triggered you. That's when you're more open, when you're a child. And now you decided to yourself somewhere growing up, I'm never going to open up again. I'm never going to wear my heart on my sleeve or show myself through my heart. And people do. I was just on the phone earlier today with a client, longtime client and friend of mine. And she was saying how she, had dealt with showing her light, her truth, and she was a part of a little fender bender. And the law enforcement cop guy was yelling and screaming. And the driver of the other car calls his uncle. So now, because they see that she's a woman by herself with one child in the car, they figured they could bully her. That's how they chose to show their light, but that's not their light. That was their dim, dark side, their shadow self. Why? Because they all wanted to cover up because she was by herself. So often, when we are doing the things that we need to do, we have to hold ourselves in high self-esteem. When people would be introduced to an audience of people, they would say, hey, this person, the very esteemed, such and such and such and such. Meaning that person's got so much integrity and quality that they're like a magnet. They can be seen amongst the forest of other people in their field, amongst their peers. We have to get to that point. But you don't have to rush. I just told a person on, I think it was Monday, someone that came to see me Monday, and I had to tell them this. They said, I'm working hard at being perfect. Well, guess what? No, you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to strive for perfection. What you must strive for is to do things properly. You have to find a way to express yourself properly, how to be a little bit more articulate, how to be kind. Do you know how to express kindness? There's a difference between being moody and angry. There's a definite difference between a person being moody and angry. There's a difference between someone who's over anxious or nervous as opposed to a person who's excited, enthusiastic, and happy. There's differences. You have to figure out which one of those things are you expressing. And that's why it's important when you first come out of your sleep in the morning, it's better to go into meditation before you start talking, before you start greeting others. Because if you can go into a meditation first, what happens in meditation? Well, you become clear. That's what happens. You start to clear your emotions and you start to clear the cloudiness out of your mind. Because that helps you overcome whatever is going on in your life. Then you get clear and you start saying the right things, not the wrong things. You start saying the right things. Because when you can say the right things, now you're on track with yourself. Because you're saying the right things. This is important. You have to get to a point in your life where you can be the person of integrity. But you're a person that has morals and ethics. So that means you're not going to lie, you're not going to steal, you're not going to cause havoc in another person's life. You're going to be transparent. That means if you got some issues, now there might be some things you may not want to talk about that could be painful for you to bring up, painful for you to talk about. But you can get close to it where you're not weighted down. People can tell by looking at you. Not just read your aura. They can tell by the way you walk, by the way you breathe. They can tell even when you're walking if you're truly open. They may not detect it by standing next to you or in front of you, but when you walk past and then they see your back, because all your attention is in the front, nothing on the back door is like wide open. People can see, people can feel, people can sense what is going on with you. But the key thing with yourself is, even though other people can see from behind and can check your energy, if you are honest with yourself, 100% honest with yourself, then it's okay that they see you. Why? Because you're being transparent and you're striving not to hide anything about yourself. Sometimes we have to learn to be a little honest, more honest up front in the beginning, rather than wait till months or years or days or so, hours for things to go by. Sometimes we're going to feel that we are feeling ashamed to say who we are or what we have been through. It does happen. But you build up integrity from the inside out. You build up your honesty and truth from the inside out. You build up your self-esteem. It says self-esteem, raising your vibration, raising how you see yourself. And all these things take time. And guess what? That time is moment to moment. And I want to say something about the word moment and time. If you look at the word T-I-M-E, right, and you reverse the word time backwards, it's E-M-I-T. Emit means to put out, right? E, out. Emit, sending out like a transmission. So, yeah, you have time. You have all the time. That means you got a lot of energy in which to release these thoughts that have been pent up on the inside and these feelings on the inside. And moment. Moment is a very interesting word. There's a prefix called mo, and there's a prefix which is mom. Then there's a suffix which is men and meant. And mom is a contraction for what? Mother. And mo in Latin is a primary. It means first. So when we go moment to moment, men or mom are ideas or ideals. That's what they are. Men, mom, women, all these are ideals. Active ideals, active words. M-E-N-T belongs to something that is mental or meaning the mind. That's our thinking capacity. So when we say from moment to moment, I have time, your time is moment to moment. You have time to let go, time to share, time to release thoughts and feelings and words and actions. You have that kind of moment. Mothering energy is wisdom. Mothering energy is emotional, but also magnetic. Mothering energy carries the seed, right? Carries the seed deep inside the womb, right? So you live moment to moment. In moment to moment, you have plenty of time to release the proper thoughts and the feelings and to articulate them to the best of your ability. But not only to the best of your ability, but understand that you have the capacity. See, you have the capacity to show your light. That means a capacitor does what? If you understand electronics, I think my father taught a little bit to my brother and I. A capacitor is this little unit that sits in, let's say, radios and TVs, and it actually holds the electricity, the ohms and the watts. It can hold the ohms to help create the resistance for the thing to get out there, for electricity to be released, for the energy. So we have that. We have this capacity, this inner capacity to hold on to information and release it at the right time with the right intention. The right intention, and intending it, meaning giving it purpose, an active purpose to be. This is what you, me, everybody else on this planet is capable of doing. We're all capable, meaning we got the capacity. We have a certain degree of capacity to release the right information at the right time to the right people, and state it clearly with emotional clarity and mental clarity. So it's not set up as being confused. No one can say, well, you said something different, you're saying something different, but you're doing something different. No, the emotional part of you, what you feel deep down inside, has to match up exactly with the thought that you're thinking about, that you're getting ready to release through the words that you speak. So, I say again, are you blazing light? Are you radiating this light out into the world as to who you are, into your immediate environment? Or are you the shadow? Are you hiding? Are you afraid to express who you are? None of us should ever be afraid to express who we are. We should not let collective minds interrupt our flow. We shouldn't let the news media do it. We shouldn't let politicians do it. We shouldn't let law enforcement agencies do it. We should not let anybody block us, limit us. You know, the reason for Black History Month, as we call it, was what? To make a people more proud of who they are. Not just us adults. It was done so that the children in the community would know that they are someone that comes from someone who created and contributed many things into American history. So I use that as an example. What light do you have inside of yourself that you can share with the world, and don't feel like you must limit yourself and become a shadow? You don't want to become a shadow of yourself. A shadow is created when light touches you, right? Light hits you and shows you up, and then you create a shadow. No, we're supposed to carry so much divinity, so much light on the inside, so much divine solar energy inside of ourselves, where we are being that being of divinity, that I am presence so strong that when the light hits us, we let it pass through and there's no shadow cast. That means the light is coming down, straight down on top of you, and no shadow can be seen. It's nothing but light. So I want anybody that's listening live to this, as well as later on the Resonant Essentials YouTube channel, as well as here, or if you see me downloaded someplace else, just know that the message today is to continue to find ways, creative ways if you want, to shower this world with bright light, your light, the truth of who you are. And let us stop hiding if we can. Stop hiding behind others. Stop hiding in a closet. We don't have to do that. We don't have to be behind a rock to show who we truly are. We don't. We got lunar light to show, the inner light, yin light, and we got that yang light. That's solar energy, is yang light. Yin light is the moonlight. But you can show both of them at the same time. Don't let somebody tell you, no, you're supposed to show it at this time. No, actually, you shouldn't practice this when there's a solar eclipse. Hey, let me tell you something. An eclipse is an eclipse. You don't control the eclipse. You can only control how you respond to the eclipse. I've done numerous things when there's an eclipse going on. Excuse me. I've done numerous things with eclipses going on and got blessed just the same. Somebody tells you, don't set up your candles, don't do that, don't have no crystals. Let me tell you something. Before you knew any of this stuff, you were already radiating light. Before you had any concept of what light was, you were already radiating light. You were already expressing humility. That's another thing. See, you've got to show the light. You got to have ethics and morals, integrity, truth. I'm checking off my list, right? You got to have humility. And what? You got to have unconditional love. You got to have better self-esteem. These are the things that are going to help you show and radiate your light instead of hiding. You see, the more hectic the world is going to get, the more we're going to have to show the light. There's people out there who know they're playing a role for a short period of time. And their job is to play the role to agitate the waters, meaning the energy between you and them, so that somebody in the higher structure of things, metaphysically, spiritually, you name it, can express their light, articulate their light. There's going to be people still looking. As I had conversation with two of my favorite women out here, there's going to be people looking for our light. There's going to be the right person that's going to find you, that's going to want to know, who are you? And there's going to be some people that's going to challenge you. Who are you? Don't worry about the challenge. Don't worry about being perfect, like I said before. Just show up. What do I mean by show up? Unconditionally shower yourself at home with unconditional love, more balance, more harmonic peace, joy, happiness, wellness, and carry that out into the world. When you start to radiate it more often, and knowing that everything is for you, that the universe is going to express the greater I am presence of the universe, is going to express itself through you. Because you got the capacity to hold and harness the light of truth of who you are. You will shower that truth, show that truth, radiate that truth into the world. So what I want to do is, before I leave here, do a short meditation. Now, what I want you to know is, if you see me go like this, I'm not asleep. I'm in a zone. I meditate a lot. And so what I enjoy teaching, and when I go into this zone, many times, folks, I'm not asleep. If you ever heard me in a class breathing heavy, I'm not asleep. I can hear everything that's going on. Sometimes my sister, we all used to go to the movie many years ago here, and they be poking me hard. Wake up. They don't know. I'm not asleep. I can hear the movie. It's almost like I'm in the movie. But because of who I am, I'm feeling things from other people around me. So I'm not asleep. I'm more awake than you actually know. I'm hearing and sensing and feeling things on a completely different level. So I want to make that known, okay? I'm not jerking out of it. I'm not doing anything. It may have that appearance, but the reality is this. I'm a very spiritual guy, and I hear and I feel many things. So let's all take a deep breath together. and begin to relax. And I'm going to count you down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. Exhale. I want you to begin to see yourself as this blazing light, a bright light from the inside out. So as you inhale, you're gathering the light from within, and as you exhale, you're sharing it with your surroundings. You're sharing it with the world, wherever you are, moment to moment, mentally creating like the Divine Mother creates. Harnessing this energy, holding it within the womb of your being, and then releasing it upon the earth. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Allow yourself to get quiet with your breathing and go deep inside yourself, all the way into the heart. And in the energy field of the heart chakra itself. Just go in there. And as you breathe in and out, it expands itself beyond the walls of your form. And for all the inhalations and exhalations that you're doing right now, is expanding it out into the world, out to the room, beyond the walls, beyond the floors and the ceilings. Now I want you to put this thought in your mind of blazing light, just like a candle flame, but large, like a torch, blazing light. And this blazing light is soothing to you. This blazing light is personifying wellness within you. Trillions of cells in your body radiate this light, where you feel greater oneness on the inside of yourself, oozing out of the pores of your skin, a beautiful rays of light, where you now feel one with everything, every living and every inanimate, as well as every animate thing. Everything is interlaced through you. The universe loves and respects and honors and expresses itself through you out into the world. And this is something that is infinite. It is continuous. And it just continues in every possible direction. 360 degrees horizontally, 360 degrees vertically, 360 degrees diagonally. You're just letting this light show itself through you, your light, into the world. I want to thank you for joining me today for Wisdom Keys with myself, Brother Francis. I'm sorry I came on a little late. I had some tech issues, but they're all straightened out now. Tomorrow is Friday, and we should be hearing at 12 noon p.m. We might be hearing, I believe we're hearing Michelle Vidal with Swanda, coming up with some very important metaphysical teachings that she can share with all of you. Also, Saturday, a lot of flavor going on, right? Saturday, we have some very interesting classes. I have a meditation class just for $10 from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. It is my Creative Pathwork meditation series, and it's small, but it's cool because as a small unit I can work with people. I have as much sometimes as 6 people in there, and sometimes I have 1 or 2. It doesn't matter because I'm there expressing and showing you the different ways that you can learn to meditate. And also, I take you from a guided form of meditation into silent meditation. And sometimes we operate in the silence first so that you get more centered and more calm with yourself. And then I begin to show you the white light meditation, or I might pick the pink light or the golden yellow light, which is for the mental body, and the pink is for the heart center. I might bring you into a state of purple light, not like the purple flame, but the purple light that governs the nerve system, and also divine wisdom coming to you. There's so many different ways. So these are ways, and like the blue ray, that can bring you more abundance and prosperity in its own way. What it's all about is just getting in touch with yourself and understanding who you are. The whole goal of meditation is to find the center of your being. Being what? Being who? Being a divine presence on earth, being the reflection of divinity on earth, earth through you. Earth, if you turn the letters around, is heart. So using your heart chakra to bring light forward into the world, to share it, to create wellness on many levels for yourself. So I'm here every Thursday, usually at 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, with another episode of Wisdom Keys. Hopefully I won't have any more tech problems, and I'll be on time 1 p.m. next Thursday. Be sure to tune in tomorrow at 12 p.m. with Swanda, which is Michelle Vidal's program, metaphysical program, here for Resonant Essentials, the group. Join us Saturday. And you know, on Tuesdays we have Amber out there on Tuesdays doing Reiki at the center, Reiki treatments. You need to call the center or go on the website for Resonant Essentials to find out when she's there. But I believe she's there from about 9 a.m. up until maybe about 3 or 4 p.m. But she's there. You can check with her. If you're a member here at Resonant Essentials, you know, you can ask her when her hours are. Okay, so we have this. And I want to thank a lot of you that came out to the Psychic Fair on Sunday. We had a blast. I really had a good time. Was able to do my Celestial I Am presence, portraits, pictures with people. I think I did about 3 of them. And they were very interesting colors and patterns. So, be who you are, be good to yourself, and be willing to check with Michelle about the tarot classes. There's some that are happening on Tuesdays, and there's some that happen, I believe, in the middle of the week on Wednesdays. You know, so get together, contact her, and try to connect with this woman, Doreen, who teaches the tarot classes. And she's there now twice in the week, Saturdays and midweek Wednesday. There's so much that's going on. You need to be a part of it. All right? So, I'm not going to keep you any longer. Wisdom Keys with Brother Francis. I'm here to help you out. I'm a spiritual counselor. If you want to be in touch with me, you can contact me through Resonant Essentials, the group, or you can email me at iam.circleofgrace1@gmail.com. That's iam.circleofgrace1@gmail.com. Thanks for tuning in today to Are You Blazing Light or Are You the Shadow? All right, everybody, take care of yourself. My grace is your grace. Until next time, remember that divine grace is a blessing as we are alive and well in the age of remembrance. I look forward to seeing you soon.